If you're the resolution kind of person, then maybe one of your promises for 2015 should be to get the family back together at the dinner table. And Mary Moore says it's the perfect start to help make those family ties stronger. And she's joining us now to tell us more. Welcome and good morning, Mary. How are you today?
I'm very pleased to be here.
Listen, I remember dinner in my house growing up. We all sat around. There was no, there were no iPads or anything like that. We had to sit at the table, talk about how our day went.
Yes.
We're not doing that anymore, are we?
No, we're not, and we really, really need to do that.
Why is it so important?
Well, the children are, there's a disconnect in the family now, and we have come to a place in our society, in our community, where the children are disconnected, and the family is. And I see the table as a synergy. It's a place where children can always come, and for parents and families can listen, and that they feel that they're being heard. They need to know that, especially in this new world when there's so many distractions and so much going on that wasn't when I was growing up, and even maybe you, and so they feel fragmented. And the table is the center, and it's the most important place for families to come together and to listen, to be fully present with the children, to make that commitment to no cell phones, nothing else.
That is so hard. Let's be real.
Yeah, well, it is, but you know what? It's worth it. It's worth it. The investment. It's really not so much about the quantity of time. It's really the quality of time.
That's right.
And when a child knows that you're going to be there, and it gives them a sense of confidence. And so it's really important to come back to the table, and we really must do that to go forward in a positive way, in a new way forward, and in each home makes up a community, it makes up a neighborhood.
That's right.
And so we just have we're in a fragmented state.
Mary, I always quote Ronald Reagan. He said, "All great change in America begins at the family table."
Yes.
And that is so true. Like you just said, it begins at your family, then in your neighborhood, then in your community, then your state, and then your nation.
It spills out, it really does. It echoes out into the neighborhood, into the city.
That's right.
And so, but it begins to start. It begins at home, And so really, I want to be able to inspire families to reprioritize their time, it makes such a big difference, and that's really what where change begins.
And so given everything that's going on in today's society with the electronics and the kids and our schedules, how would you be able to suggest we relate that on today's terms? Obviously, we can't do it every single night, or it's really hard for some families to do it every single night. Do you have some suggestions on some ways to do it practically today?
Well, do as much as you can. You might not be able to do it 6 or 7 days a week, but with the research that I have done for myself, and you don't have to go too far to look into the impact of from 4 to 5 nights a week that children that dine with their parents are 75 to 80% less likely to get involved in gangs and drugs.
Teen pregnancies are affected by that?
Listen, it impacts every area, every young adult when you spend that quality time. So, it's an investment. And it is the most important, priceless gift that we can give to each other.
That's right.
And especially our children, time.
Right.
And so I feel very passionate about it.
Yes.
I draw from my own experience in restoration and restoring my family, looking back at how did my sons not wind up in, getting involved in the culture and the gangs and drugs and what have you. So we weren't living in the, in the most safe and the best parts of town.
Right.
But when I look back over it, and I thought, my goodness, what would have happened had we not had those sessions at the table? I'm the mother, I'm cooking, we got the table all set with the beans and the bread and the greens and the hot water cornbread.
Can I come over for dinner?
But as a mother, and I had a career. I was wearing several hats, as many mothers are doing now. But I would start, with my son, maybe Michael, like your grades are falling. Why are you, what's up?
Yeah.
Your room is a mess, and they would start, with the whole snot and denying and crying and what have you, and but we would finally get to what was going on with him. And I had 5 children. And but you know, and so when we reach a place where Michael was, where he had aired really what was at the core of why he was falling down, and he was okay, you're all right, Mom, you're right, but Kenneth, and so they would go and tell on each other, and it would go around the table, and every time one of those sessions, when I look back over it now, that we never left the table. Every single time we had one of these unplanned sessions, the sun would be coming over the horizon.
Well, you bring up a good point, because it's all about priorities. My mom, a single parent of 3, always managed to have dinner on the table at 5:30. So Mary will be appearing at the Overcomers Convention this weekend at the Cedar Hill Church of Christ. For more details, just head to thebroadcasttv.com and click on today's links.